Let's welcome in the new head coach of the Dallas Mavericks, the Hall of Famer Jason Kidd. And congrats on the new gig, first and foremost. I'm curious, for folks at home, unlike Sam, who've never coached an NBA team, what is on the to-do list in the time between your hire and when camp gets cranked up?
Well, I think first is your coaching staff, right? I think we're all excited to be here in Dallas, but you start to make that laundry list or that checklist that, you got to get a coaching staff. Make sure the film room is ready to go because it's a long season. And then check on the players, once a week, twice a week, just to see how the guys are enjoying their summer.
Let's remind folks the Mavericks were 42-30 last season. They gave the Clippers a scare in the first round before losing in 7. In what ways would you like to see your team improve next season?
Well, I think you always talk about defense. To win championships, you have to play defense. And so that'll be something that we talk about now. We'll talk about the first day of training camp, and we'll talk throughout the season about how we can be better on the defensive end of the ball.
Coach, I want to ask you this. First of all, congratulations on the job. But this is what I want to ask you.
Thank you.
Being a Hall of Famer, being a great player that had to transition from being a great player as an individual to leading your team to a championship and becoming a great teammate, what can you do to help Luka? We know he's a great player. Has a chance to be one of the greatest to go down in the history of our league. But what can you bring to the table to help him make that transition from being a great player like you were to being a great leader to a guy that can lead a team to a championship?
Well, I think just starting with talking, right? Talking. And then I think a lot of times we forget that we have to listen. You talk, as a coach, we try to do a lot of talking, but also as a coach, you got to listen and listen to what Luka is talking about or seeing. And then also just trying to help him, be an extra set of eyes and ears, but also kind of talk about, the things at 22 or 23 years old that I saw trying to lead a team, to be a leader. Talk about the skill set that you need, because it's not just one person that can win a game. You're going to need your teammates, and you're going to need that 15th or 16th guy on the roster to help you take a charge or come up with a loose ball. And so just to show the importance that you can't just talk to the starters or you can't just talk to the first 9 guys, but you got to, have everybody, involved. And that's the guys that don't play on a regular basis because they're part of the team.
You kind of touched on what's on Luka's shoulders at the age of 22. He just signed the biggest rookie max extension ever. What kind of responsibility comes with a deal like that?
Well, I think for a 22-year-old to sign that type of deal is incredible. When you talk about the work that he's put in, everybody questioned his skill set, but I think he's answered that. Each time he's taken the stage on a new level, the Olympics, he stepped up and his team goes 16-2, comes up short of medaling, but no one thought that their team could compete at that level. And he showed that he can carry a team, but also the team responded when he was, out there playing. And so there's a lot of responsibilities, but again, we're all going to make mistakes. He's going to make mistakes, but we learn from them and we get better. And this journey, I'm just very blessed to have this opportunity to join his journey and be a part of it.
Coach, I got to ask you this about Porzingis. We know the talent. We've seen flashes of it. What can you do to help him unleash all that potential that he has? And for the first time in a couple of years, I think he's healthy this offseason, so he can actually get into the gym and work on his game. How important is Porzingis to what you're trying to do to this Dallas Mavericks organization and this team as far as going forward, competing for a championship?
Yeah, great question, Sam. KP is very important. Porzingis is a guy that we need, not just on the offensive end, but on the defensive end. And I think you brought it up, and the question is that his health. This is the first time he's not rehabbing or coming off of a surgery, and so he feels great. I got to spend some time with him in his home country, in his home city this summer, and so he's really excited. I'm excited, and so I can't wait for him to get on the court because there are a lot of things, the skill set that you can't teach someone who's 7'3", right? And so his skill set of shooting the ball and being able to stretch the floor, create space, but then on the defensive end, being able to change shots and come up with rebounds is something that we're going to look for him to do too.
This is your third go around as a head coach, and I'm curious, when you reflect back, what would you like to do differently based on your experiences in Brooklyn and Milwaukee?
Yeah, when you talk about Brooklyn and Milwaukee, two different situations. Here is kind of similar to Milwaukee. As good as we are, we're still a young team. And so it's exciting to be able to teach and see players get better. So to be able to develop is something I'm excited about.
And we're excited to see it. Jason, appreciate the time. Enjoy the rest of your summer and the transition to Dallas. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.